Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise, and welcome back to me. I've been gone forever, it feels like. We've been on vacation, Barb and I, and the crew has been carrying on here. So a couple weeks ago, I hope you enjoyed Deco Ensemble. We pre-taped that show with the three saxophonists. I think I said that right, Justin, saxophonists? Is that a word? Think so? They were spectacular, and I hope you enjoyed them. I know Dennis True, he contacted me, and I have a feeling he wants them on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. And this show is going to be on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, so good afternoon to all our listeners that join us on Tuesday. And for those that are watching us here live Saturday mornings on Access Chautauqua, channel 1301, good morning. So there, I did all my plugs real quick. Last week, Randy Burt filled in for me, and you got to meet an Olympian, a junior Olympian, John Swabick. He was here a couple of weeks ago prior to going out to California. So he took silver, as you know, and if you didn't catch that show, we're on YouTube. All of our shows are on YouTube. What show is it now? We're 270 shows today. So wow, we're getting older here. But you can always go back, look at a show over and over again. Of course, we're on 2 and 8 every day here out of Mayville throughout the week. And thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy today's show because it's of great importance to myself and my family as we are aging. And we're going to be talking about Alzheimer's and some events that are coming up. And we're going to take a serious look at this because, well, I think a lot of people misunderstand it. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to take a kind of a gushy, romantic moment here. This morning I got up and I was walking the dog about, I don't know what time it was, 7:30, and I was just looking out because we live on the escarpment in Ripley, and I was just breathing in the damp earth and the blue sky. It was absolutely cloudless, and I looked at Lake Erie and it was like emerald blue. It was absolutely perfect. And it just struck me. I just got home a couple days ago from Europe, and it's spectacular. It's cultural. It's got all these cool things, cathedrals and castles and thousands and millions of people. But the silence and the beauty of Lake Erie, living in Chautauqua County. I talk about this all the time, folks. You know I do. But we live in a wonderful, wonderful area. So appreciate it. The way to appreciate it is leave it for a little while and come back. And boy, oh boy, it's wonderful. We're getting into harvest season. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can smell it already. The smell of the Concord grapes and all the pumpkins and all the harvest of apples and pears and whatever, and all the festivals that go on. It's hard to believe it's August 31st. Emerald, what happened? Summer's over? You gotta go back to school? Boo-hoo. Emerald, our little Emerald is going to be a senior this year. Before we know it, she's all going to be grown up. She's got a job now, she told me, and she's got her driver's license.
No, permit.
Oh, permit. And do you remember the one rule I always tell everybody gets their permit, no driving on the sidewalk. Okay, that's all you got to remember. Okay. Anyways, it's so really good to be back, and we're I love doing this show, but as I was saying, Chautauqua County is a great place to be, and really, you should appreciate it. If you're visiting for the first time, welcome to Chautauqua County. If you're here over and over and over again, like many people, we still have some summer left, so we don't want to close the doors on summer, but it is appreciably cooler this morning, and I think we're going to get in a little bit of a cooler trend, and that's okay with me. I sleep better that way. Okay, just a few things I want to share with you real quick, because I do want to spend more time with my guests, because they're waiting anxiously to come on. September 7th coming up. Let's see, I don't even know when that is, sometime next week. I want to let you know that at 2 p.m. over on Portage Street, they are doing a dedication of the First Responders Monument in Westfield. And Tom Tarpley was here a couple weeks ago talking about that. So anyways, I had a note in my notes to mention September 7th, 2 p.m. in Westfield, dedication of the First Responders Monument. All right. It's next Saturday. Thank you, Justin. I'm still on European time. I don't know. I think it's next week already. Okay. I got a few announcements, not too many, and then we'll get to our guests. We're going to start in Jamestown with our friends at Infinity. All right. A new instructor. Okay. Infinity Visual and Performing Arts welcomes a new dance instructor, Bree Tota. We got a picture. Oh, lovely lady. Has joined the Infinity team and is currently offering private and group instruction in various dance techniques. Bree has been dancing for 16 years. She doesn't look old enough to be that, does she? And has taken classes in every style. Some of these styles includes tap, jazz, lyrical, I don't know what that means, contemporary, hip-hop, ballet, and many more. She graduated from Southwestern High School and is currently attending Oklahoma City University with a major in dance. Now, how do you be attending school in Oklahoma and teach in Jamestown? I don't know. Maybe she does it on her vacations. Bree has been in multiple productions and shows, both locally and outside of the Chautauqua region. She has participated in shows such as Annie, A Christmas Spectacular at the Warren, Pennsylvania Theater, I guess, White Christmas, Honk, and many others. She has also choreographed musicals for Washington Middle School and Southwestern High School. Bree has been assisting and teaching dance classes for 4 years in a variety of styles. She's excited to continue her love to teach dance and is very excited to be joining the Infinity team. And if you want more information or want to sign up for lessons with Bree, you can go to their website, Infinity Performing Arts, all one word, .org, or give them a call at 664-0991. Now, the next one. This is coming up next Saturday. I already know this because Justin has told me, September 7th. Infinity Visual and Performing Arts is excited to announce their 16th annual local music showcase on Saturday, September 7th. This is a night full of music and fun for the community, all to raise awareness and funds for youth music arts programming at the Infinity Center. Okay. Dubbed as the Night Music Reigns, Infinity Local Music Showcase will take place through 9 venues in downtown Jamestown and features more than 40 local musical acts. Events begin at 6 p.m. and will last into the night, ending at 2 a.m. This year's venues include Brazil, Forte, Labyrinth Press Company, Pearl City Hops, Shawbucks, the Beer Snob, the Pub, the Spire Theater, and the Wine Cellar. These venues have all generously donated their stages and performance space to the cause and are a true testament to the community involvement and support in downtown. I might add that all the musicians donate their time and their talents to this. I've played at it probably about 7 or 8 times over the years. I'll be sitting out this year. My partner, Will Russell, will be showcasing his own original music, so check him out. They also want you to know it takes more than 200 individuals and volunteers from the community to make Infinity's annual local music showcase event a success. All funds raised directly benefit area students and support music and arts education for area young people at the Infinity Center through private lessons, group lessons, active learning experiences, ensembles, and performing opportunities. Many of you have seen folks from Infinity here on the show, especially at the end of the year. They come in and do a holiday showcase for us. Infinity's grants and marketing coordinator, Stephanie Rogers, spearheads the coordination of this showcase each year and says the following: "It's such an honor year after year to work with our community who's always so willing to help make this night a success. From the venues and sponsors to the musicians, to the sound engineers, to the door volunteers, to our local media outlets, there's nothing quite like seeing everyone come together for Infinity every year on this night." As a nonprofit, approximately 15% of Infinity's annual operating budget comes from fundraising, and the showcase is usually our largest fundraising event of the year. We are so grateful to everyone who makes this happen, and our students really get to reap the benefits of this program that we can offer at Infinity, and thanks to nights like this. Okay, so what's the deal here? You get a wristband, and let's see, pre-sale wristbands for local music showcase are currently available. Event goers can purchase them online or in person from the Infinity Center until Friday, September 7th, and save $5. $15 will be available at 5 ticket kiosks on the night of the event. With the exception of Shawbucks, where credit and debit cards will be accepted, all kiosks, that's a tough word to say, will accept cash only. Kiosks will be open at the following venues: Shawbucks, cash and credit; Pearl City Hops; Labyrinth Press. Oh, they give me times here. Let me back up. Pearl City Hops from 5:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Labyrinth Press Company, 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The Wine Cellar, 6 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. And Forte, 10 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is an evening where you can pay one money, get a wristband, go all over Jamestown, and go to these various 9 venues and listen to music that's anywhere from folk to country to rock to headbanger music, rap, acoustic rock like I play, whatever. It's a great night, and usually the weather's pretty decent, and it's a lot of fun, and it's to help a really good program. Okay, let's keep on moving. Let's see. I mentioned the first responders monument, but they have an event going on. September 6th, first responder begins wait a minute, what does it say? Oh, First Friday, here we go. September 6th is First Friday in Westfield. The final First Friday of the summer will take place from 5 to 8 p.m. September 6th in the village of Westfield. It will also serve to kick off the First Responders Weekend there as well. These popular monthly events are organized by the Westfield Barcelona Community Chamber of Commerce and create a street fair along Main Street and in Moore Park, featuring live music, kids' games, wine, food, vendors, and much, much more. My Rotary Club, yes, for the 4th time, will be selling snow cones. You can also see the wide variety of Westfield wine bottles. Yes, Chautauqua Sunrise has ours right in the middle of Moore Park. Uniquely decorated large wooden signs scattered throughout the town, these wine bottles. In addition, the Chamber of Commerce will have fire helmets and badges for children while supplies last. A first responders parade will be held Saturday, followed by the dedication at 2 p.m. Of the first responders tribute on North Portage Street, where an 8-foot tall obelisk topped with a black bell will honor the police and fire departments. So that's going to be a really neat event. Okay, let's keep on going here. Let's see, let me make sure I covered everything. Okay, that's good. Okay, how to deal with a child's challenging behavior. Imagine that. All right, this is part 2. This is going to be held Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's going to be held at the Boys and Girls Club of Jamestown at 62 Allen Street, Jamestown, New York. They're going to review part 1 of different types of behavior and an opportunity to develop a plan with strategies to help address those behaviors. Learn ways to manage conflict, establish consequences, and develop confidence in dealing with challenging behavior. This is the stuff that everybody said they didn't teach you in school. So, so again, Saturday, September 14th at the Boys and Girls Club, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Check it out. All right, we got an interesting topic, and this is the final announcement. The Underground Railroad training event begins September 11th at Niagara University. Okay, now you say Niagara University, what's this got to do with Chautauqua County? A whole lot, because listen up. A National Underground Railroad training event will be held September 11th to the 14th at Niagara University in Niagara Falls, New York. The program will be hosted by the following organizations: the National Park Service, the National Underground Railroad Network to Freedom Program, and the Underground Railroad Consortium of New York State. Additional hosts are as follows: Niagara Falls National Heritage Area, the Niagara Falls Underground Railroad Heritage Center, Niagara University, and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. During the conference workshops, this is where the music comes in, Chautauqua County historian, our very own Michelle Henry, will present the anti-slavery map for the Chautauqua County, found at Orbit, I'm going to spell for you, orbitist.com/UGRR. On the map are more than 1,100 persons in or sites which were documented by their appearance in anti-slavery records related to this county between 1840 and 1860. Other research training workshops will be held on Thursday and Friday, September 12th and 13th. The Thursday morning sessions will cover history and recent scholarship. Thursday afternoon sessions will address means of protecting the Underground Railroad authenticity. Friday morning workshops will discuss best practices for preserving and promoting the underground sites. And Friday afternoon sessions will examine community-driven investigations of the Underground Railroad. For further information and registration, go to the website of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Now, I didn't have to bring that up. I decided to make sure we cover that because Michelle is a guest on our show from time to time, but Chautauqua County played a vital role during that era with the Underground Railroad. And we're very proud of our history here and its role. And I know in Ripley, there's a couple sites that were very key to that whole program. So good on you, Michelle, and I hope you do well. And for those who are history buffs, sounds like a great opportunity to learn more about our county and the region as well. With that, I'm going to be quiet. We're going to go to a public service announcement. Stay tuned because we got a show that's going to be very important to everybody that's watching right now.
Dementia. Do you know what it means? Perhaps you associate dementia with old age.
Get out of here!
Or maybe it's a term that frightens you. Dementia is not a specific illness. It's a term that describes a wide range of symptoms associated with a decline in memory and thinking skills. These symptoms can become severe enough to affect someone's ability to perform everyday activities. Alzheimer's is a brain disease that causes symptoms of dementia. It accounts for 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. In fact, an estimated 5.4 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. By 2050, the number of people aged 65 and older living with Alzheimer's disease is expected to increase to 13.8 million. It's likely you know someone or will encounter someone living with dementia in your community. At the bank, the grocery store, or a restaurant. Although advancing age is the greatest risk factor for developing Alzheimer's, even those who are younger can exhibit symptoms. Dementia affects each person differently. In the early stages, it may be difficult to recognize someone living with the disease because he or she is still independent and can engage in meaningful conversation. Potential signs include difficulty communicating, getting lost, becoming frustrated, exhibiting confusion, repeating words and phrases, poor judgment, and unusual or inappropriate behavior. Research shows that stigma surrounding dementia can lead to isolation for both those living with the disease as well as their family members. That's why it's so important to better understand dementia and how to help individuals continue to play a role in their community. When encountering a person with dementia, consider these tips. Treat the person with dignity and respect. Avoid talking past the person as if he or she isn't there. Be patient and supportive. Let the person know you're listening and trying to understand. Avoid criticizing or correcting. Offer comfort and reassurance. If he or she is having trouble communicating, reassure the individual that it's okay and encourage the person to continue. Living with value and purpose in the community is a human right. Communities must consider ways to make services more accessible for people living with dementia, just as they have made services more accessible to people with physical disabilities. Every segment of the community and every individual has a unique opportunity to make a significant difference in the lives of people living with dementia.
Hey, Mr. Fredrickson, it's Tuesday. Aren't you going to the store?
Yeah.
Come on, I'll walk with you.
To learn more about how you and others can help those living with dementia remain engaged in the community, view our short videos that provide guidance for specific professions at dementiafriendsusa.org.
Okay, and welcome back to Chautauqua Sunrise. We purposely put that particular video in for our public service segment because we wanted to use it as an introduction to what we're going to be talking about today. But before I introduce my guests, I have a little surprise for my guests. You ready? In here, I have something that you're going to say, whoa!
I have a feeling.
I am a dementia friend, and
Awesome.
that was dated on May 25th, 2019. Here's my name. I took the course online, and I learned all that I could about dementia, and I feel a little more prepared to talk about the topic. When we were talking prior to the show, I said to you, I really want to get a serious discussion on dementia, and I was listening to that video, and I find too many times people make jokes about dementia. They say, "Oh, you're getting Alzheimer's," or you know, "You're forgetful. You must be this and that." And to realize that 80% of the people today with dementia have Alzheimer's, or Alzheimer's have dementia, back and forth, whatever. This is a serious issue as we grow older. We're growing older. We have issues that maybe 50, 100 years ago people weren't dealing with because we didn't live that long, and now we live longer. So there is my introduction and my certificate.
Wonderful.
So I want to welcome Dana Corwin, Kate Finch, and Christine Cheonis back to the show. Kate hasn't been here before, but she was with Reed Powers years ago and lived to tell the tale. We always pick on poor Reed, but he has did many, many good shows on various topics as well. So ladies, we got lots to talk about today. So Dana, why don't you kick things off? What's your role and why are you here today?
My role is I'm the Director of Aging Health Services at the Office for the Aging, which is the area agency on aging.
Right.
So I oversee, along with my coworkers, many different programs that are designed to help people live well in the community for as long as possible. And I oversee New York Connects, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center. We talked about that last time I was on. New York Connects is also referred to as the No Wrong Door. It's a place where you can call, or anybody in the community can call, and link to services, find out about things that they might be eligible for, and kind of plan for the future.
Wait, hold that thought. Jeff, pop that up. You know what I'm talking about. Because we bring this up every time Linda Spalding calls. So let's bring up that New York Connects little thing here while we're talking. So if he's tuned in, he'll pop it up. So keep going. There it is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So working with New York Connects, part of what we're tasked to do is we have a long-term care council made up of people that get services, want services, and stakeholders and providers. And we look to see what gaps there are in services and what gaps there are in the community to allow people to live independent for as long as possible. And a few years back, we came across the Dementia Friends USA program. And we knew, just as you said, people are living longer in community. They want to stay in their own homes. We've had a decrease in the number of nursing home beds way back when.
Definitely.
And we've got limited resources as far as people changing their level of care, meaning not living in the home, going to an assisted living or a nursing home type facility. So our goal at the Office for the Aging is to help people live well and to live independent. And so the Long-Term Care Council started to put together some information about dementia, about Alzheimer's. We worked with the Centers for Excellence with Alzheimer's disease out of Buffalo. We worked with the local chapter of Western New York, the Alzheimer's Association, and we started to bring together people that had an interest and a stake in making sure that people could do well in the community. So we started to put this together, and we introduced this Dementia Friends USA program. When I was back in February, we talked briefly about it, and I'm so proud you got your certificate.
Absolutely. Proud of it.
We really hope that the PSA that you just saw and the fact that you've gone through it, I'm hoping the rest of the group does too here behind the scenes. Our job here and our focus and our commitment really is to say to people, people are living longer. This is a very important disease that has astronomical numbers associated with it. So what can we do to make sure that the community has an understanding of what Alzheimer's is, what dementia is, and how we can change the way we think about working with people, about our neighbors, to try to make this understanding universal so that we can help them be successful.
So many times I've had discussions with people, family, friends, whatever, and we'll talk about someone that had a brilliant career or was a housewife. Someone that worked in a factory, somebody, any walk of life, right? It affects all of us.
All of us.
But where their personalities changed, they got mean, they got this, they got forgetful, they didn't eat or whatever, and they say, I just don't understand what's wrong with that person. You know, that person was brilliant, that person was always dependable, that person ran a household, that person worked in a factory and was in charge of machines, and how is it possible that today they can't even tie their own shoes? Hello? That's why we're here today, right?
That's why we're here today, to learn a little bit more, to really get people involved in becoming a dementia friend and understanding what dementia is all about and how to support people, because it's touched my life. I don't know if the rest of my colleagues here will tell you that it's touched their lives. I think everybody knows somebody that's been affected.
Right.
And like you said, it really robs people of dignity. And in my own life, in my own caring for my mom, who died of Alzheimer's, our goal was to have her live her life with as much dignity as possible.
Right.
If she never realized that she couldn't do something, we had done exactly what we were supposed to do to support her along that path.
Okay, so early on in the show right now, for those that are listening, and if there's someone, let's talk about different parts of this. If you have somebody that you know has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, can your office help them?
Yes, we can.
If you're somebody that is sitting, listening right now and says, you know, something's going on with me, I don't feel
They're concerned.
concerned,
Yeah.
Can your office help them?
We can help them with a lot of information, a lot of support services and connections, not only to the Centers for Excellence, but to their local physicians to try to get some of these answers, you know, to the questions they might have. It is, you know, never having walked in those footsteps myself, but concerned about it because I have a family history, it's got to be terrifying.
Yeah.
It's got to be terrifying. So to be able to help somebody have some comfort and some community around this diagnosis, it's really important. It's super important. And that's why we're here to talk about caregiver services and the walk that's coming up. The Office for the Aging has really championed this situation because of what we're all about. So New York Connects, that phone number that you saw in the beginning, is where anybody can call to find out information about different programs. We work very closely with the Alzheimer's Association. This one happens to be the Fall-Winter 2019 upcoming programs. If you check out our Facebooks for both the Chautauqua County New York Connects and Chautauqua County Office for the Aging, you'll see different opportunities in the community for better information about Alzheimer's, communication classes, all kinds of different things to fit. There's young onset support groups, there's online support groups, there's a lot out there that people may not be aware of. And so New York Connects is your first step to that. And then Chris and Kate are involved in all kinds of different areas that kind of help to support that person and buoy them through.
Okay, Christine Cheonis, you're next. What do you do?
Well, in relation to the Alzheimer's program I oversee, we have an Alzheimer's caregiver program, and that's becoming more and more of a large part of the Office for Aging. We joined with 8 other counties, and we are part of a Western New York Alzheimer's grant. That what it does is actually supports the caregivers, people who are caring for loved ones who have some form of dementia. And right now, there's over 120 different kinds of dementia. So Alzheimer's is the most prevalent of the dementias, but when people hear about dementia, it's not just Alzheimer's. There's a lot of different forms. You'll hear Lewy body,
I know that one very well.
Frontal lobe. So dementia is the umbrella, and Alzheimer's is one of the types of dementia.
When you say caregiver, is it broader than just family?
Absolutely, and this is an issue as we go forward because we're seeing right now caregivers, traditionally caregivers were women around the age between 50 to 60 that were caring for a loved one. We're seeing that increase but also change. So caregivers are aging themselves. And a lot of individuals that have dementia don't have family members nearby. We see that a lot in the Office for Aging. We get a lot of calls from family members that live in other states, and they're worried about their parents who are starting to show signs of dementia. So this is where the Office for Aging and the services that Dana spoke about, we really come in to assist, but neighbors are caregivers.
That's right.
Churches. Church family members. We have agencies all over Chautauqua County that are home care services that also provide those services as well.
Okay, so right now, if someone's watching or listening and they call that number and they're a neighbor, would they get help to be trained to work with somebody with Alzheimer's?
Part of our program with our Alzheimer's grant is that we have caseworkers that will go out and work with the caregiver. So there's different training for a caregiver as opposed to what you do with the Alzheimer's individual. So yes, we would have our caseworker go out and meet with that client, kind of understand what the situation is and what the needs are. So doing an intake and assessment of the situation and kind of planning. And this is something, the more that we talk about things like that, people wait until it's a crisis. We're trying to get the word out sooner rather than later so people can start to recognize that maybe their neighbor does have an issue. It's not a crisis situation, but wow, we need to get in there and at least do something to kind of monitor that. So getting in there early, getting diagnosis early, and helping the caregivers so that they're not overwhelmed, because caregiver burnout is a big issue.
We have a population in Chautauqua County, I think, like 130,000 ballpark.
Right.
About.
So what percentage or how many do we think have been afflicted with Alzheimer's? Do we have a stat on that?
Yeah, the estimation right now in New York State is 400,000, and we're estimating in Chautauqua County 2,100 people affected by the disease.
2,100 people?
2,100 people.
In our county?
In our county alone.
We're not that big.
We're not
No.
that big.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's going to grow, I would think.
And it's going to grow as we age.
We're number one with the 8 counties in
We're
Western New
number
York.
one?
We're number one with the highest percentage of seniors, 65 and over. We're number 3 in the population under Erie County and Niagara. We're number 3 in the overall amount of people that have dementia now. So it's a big deal here.
And I realize there's never-ending research in a lot of these issues. Do we have any idea what causes this? We're not doctors. I mean, I
Right.
realize that, but I mean, is there any anything that's going on right now that they think there's a linkage or anything?
Well, they still have the main concept with Alzheimer's as being an issue with a shrinkage of the brain and also the plaques and tangles.
Right.
The frontotemporal that Christine was talking about is affecting a certain part of the brain in that area and not allowing it to function completely. So there's still no cure. The Alzheimer's Association, I think, is doing a wonderful job, and we partner with them in fundraising, and that's why we're going to talk about the walk, which is so important. But there is no cure. There are medications that can help kind of slow or deal with symptoms, but there is no cure. And this is, you know, when you listen to the public service announcements from the Alzheimer's Association, they talk about, you know, what we're striving for is the first person to be cured. The first
Yes,
person
I
to
saw
be
that
cured.
ad recently. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when I did this program, it seemed to me that women are afflicted more than men.
That's true.
Very strange to
That's
me.
true.
Women have a tendency to live longer than men, so that does skew, you know, those
All
numbers.
right. I hadn't thought of it
Yeah.
that way. That
Yeah.
would make sense.
Historically speaking, I think women haven't really dealt with their own health issues as caregivers. You know, they tend to put their own health needs at the back burner. So things like hypertension and diabetes, you know, things that would restrict the blood flow and cause problems in the brain for supplying, you know, blood and oxygen. Those are important parts to think about. Those chronic diseases that aren't managed well, really at this age, you know, at 35 to 55, is where you might see problems and not even recognize that things are going
Early
on.
onset.
Yeah.
You know, and then the baby boomers, they're not necessarily the largest generation anymore. I understand there's a generation later on that's larger, but they'll deal with it then. But at the moment, we're the largest population. It's aging out, and this is a significant issue.
It is.
Alzheimer's being one of those issues, but I mean, wow.
And that's really one of the reasons why we wanted to focus on not only the Alzheimer's Walk and what we do, but the Dementia Friends program, because we're not going to be able to absorb this as an agency, as a healthcare system. We're not going to be able to take on the magnitude of help that'll be needed. So we're trying to, we use the term saturate. We want to saturate the public with awareness so that we can start to work with people about what's out there so they can plan. You know, we did an article for the paper, I can't remember how many months ago, but it was called Plan. Please look at now. Please look at now, because, you know, if we can get people to look at their health, and the health department does great work in this area, you know, getting people to look at the comorbidities and the diagnosis that cause that chronic condition like diabetes and hypertension. If we can start identifying people in the community sooner, and that's a scary thing to the person, but be able to support them as a community and then start to work with our businesses so that they can in turn turn around and work closely with people with dementia and support them. The longer we can in community, the better. And that's why we want people to become dementia friends. So you've seen the first video, the one we played is the PSA. I don't know if we'll have time to do another one.
We will.
But basically, we want people to go on to the website, Dementia Friends USA, and do the two videos and attest to the fact that you've watched the one today and one other one. And then you'll be able to print out, I'm a dementia friend. And imagine our task force is looking at how can we show in community that we are dementia friendly. So we're hoping to partner with different providers and maybe the Chamber of Commerce. If you're out there, we're going to give you a call. And come up with some kind of an emblem or something that can be displayed in a business, in a community setting, in a library, to say we're dementia friendly and
Just
it's okay to come in.
dementia-friendly community or our
Exactly.
town.
Exactly.
You know, while we're talking here, my background was working with children with disabilities, and I remember when I first started out, I mean, people actually believed that if they drank out of a water fountain that somebody had cerebral palsy, they could catch cerebral palsy or mental retardation or whatever. And look at all the time it took to bring those folks into our community, to make them part of our everyday life and not shun them or put them aside. We're really kind of shedding the light on this
Exactly.
the same way. It's going to take a while.
And one thing I'll just want to jump in there and say real quick, that people living with a cognitive impairment have lots of fears. I would imagine, you know, that would be the situation. And that causes them to be isolated from other people. It causes them to be withdrawn, and it produces a stigma. So the Dementia Friends program is really in place to get people aware of what it is and reduce that stigma and get people to reach out. There is the diagnosis, and that is difficult. But we want to move past the diagnosis and say people can do very well in community living with a cognitive impairment. They have strengths that
work with
will
the strength and
exactly.
support the weakness.
So even though the diagnosis is difficult and scary, there's no reason why people can't live well in the community with the support around them.
That's a great point. Christine, you were going to say something?
No, just what Dana said, I was going to talk about that, is that a lot of people have a very misunderstanding of especially early stages Alzheimer's. My mom has Alzheimer's, and I've watched her go through the different stages, and my dad is her caregiver, her primary. But even going into a restaurant, we like to use this example. People have to understand that these individuals who have early stage or going into mild stage, they can function, and they seem to function just like everybody else. They might have a little glitch here and there. My mom's really good at socializing in certain circumstances, but if you spend a lot of time with her, you see repetition and things like that. So there's a misunderstanding out there that people that have Alzheimer's, they need to go in the nursing home right away.
Right.
That is not the case at all. Individuals who have any form of dementia can live very well in their home for many, many years and may never get to the point where they have to go to a nursing home.
Good point.
So this is why this Dementia Friends program is so important, is for people to understand and kind of recognize if someone's struggling with reading a menu like you saw in the video. That person, all they need is a little, maybe a little TLC, a little compassion. And they're
all it
fine.
takes.
And they're fine.
Exactly.
So jumpstart.
So it doesn't, dementia is not the end all be all.
Okay. Kate has been sitting on her very
Very
quietly saying,
patiently.
what about me, what about me? So Kate Finch, you are involved with the Walk to End
am.
Alzheimer's. So what would you like to tell us?
That we're going to have an Alzheimer's memory walk in Chautauqua County on September 21st. It's a
Don't look at
Saturday.
me, I know
September 21st at Point Gratiot. Registration's at 10 o'clock and the walk starts, registration's at 9 o'clock and the walk starts at 10 o'clock. And it's a beautiful walk. You walk a mile and a half around Lake Erie, and it's just glorious, and it's for a good cause. This will be my 23rd walk.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
good on you. So, and you're involved with the Office for the Aging as well.
I am.
And what's your title?
I'm an aging services specialist, which means I'm on the front line.
You're on the front line.
I do options counseling. I talk to people about what some of their options could be, should they, want to look at planning forward. I am a case manager for the home care program, the ISEP program. So,
Okay, so is there a cost involved for the walk?
well, we're looking for you to raise some money.
Well, how do you do it?
You can sponsor the Office for the Aging team, or you can
What
walk for
does
yourself.
that cost?
Well, I'd like to say $1,000 a person, but whatever you
Is
donate,
there a doctor? No,
whatever you donate is going to be that much money.
no, seriously. If somebody's watching right now, might want to sponsor. So,
we'd love it.
are there sponsorships?
There are.
And are there levels, or how's that
No,
work?
no. You
However
just,
much.
However much you want to donate it, and I have had some people send me some money, and I send them a little thank you note and the printout showing them that they have donated, and some people are donating in memory of someone.
All right.
So,
This is what I do every Saturday. All right. So where do we contact you if we want to sponsor you?
Well, you can contact me personally at the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging, and my number is 363-3848.
Whoa, 363
3848.
3848
8.
3848.
Or you can go on the Alzheimer's.org website and put in our zip code, the zip code of 14048, which is where the walk is located, and you can see all the teams that are registered currently to do the walk, and you can go down to OFA and click the donate button and
All right.
donate to our
Donate
team.
electronically.
Now,
That's right.
I do this for a reason. I have you repeat it again so that we get it on more than one time. So where do we go online?
alzheimers.org.
ALZ.org.
And then it says find your walk.
Western New York.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
that's
you put in
important.
14048, which is the Dunkirk zip code.
Oh, 147. Wow.
14048.
10. Wait a minute. 14048. You mean
1408.
14048. All right.
Then it'll bring up the Dunkirk Walk, and it'll list all the different teams that are currently registered.
Okay.
So you want to
Choose the one that
OFA.
OFA.
But
you
the
have
reality
to you
is,
have to walk me through these things here. All right.
and not that we don't want your donation, because we would love to have your donation. For several years, we were the top fundraising team. We'd love to be the top fundraising team this year. But whoever you donate to, that money's going to go to the Alzheimer's Association for services and programs in our area to help the very people that we know and love that are walking this journey.
So what's your goal?
Our goal would be $5,000 for our team.
Only $5,000?
It's not much.
Not much at all.
Not much at all.
Well, come on, Chautauqua County, let's get behind this.
Yeah,
all right, I'm not going to tell you
thank you.
how much, but Chautauqua Sunrise will be one of your sponsors.
Oh,
We would
Thank
love
you.
that.
That's
You
wonderful.
see what I did? I took a picture of all my notes, so when I go home, I don't have to look back at my show. So
Well, and if anybody wants to donate $500 or more to us, we will include, each team member will be carrying a little sign that says, thank you, Kate Finch, for donating $500.
And they'll be
or
put
whatever.
on our
Yeah.
website and our Facebook
very
page
nice.
as well.
All right, so I'm going to challenge all those that are out there right now. Let's get behind this.
Please.
And as I said before, no more jokes about Alzheimer's. I'm really serious about this because this is becoming more and more an issue in our communities and our families, and it's not funny and it's serious. Not to the point that we got to, get really glum about this, but we need to look at it as mature adults and how we're going to deal with it, right?
Right.
All right. So we have a video, you said.
Hopefully there's a video.
All right. So
We can do a
Jeff, can
second
you
one.
cue up that video, and anytime you're ready, just cut me off and start it. Oh, here it goes.
It's ready.
And we're back.
Today we are visiting a retail business. Individuals living with Alzheimer's disease or another form of dementia may face these challenges. Feeling unfamiliar with their surroundings and possibly becoming lost. Difficulty finding the right words to describe what they want. Problems paying or making change, or misplacing a wallet. Decreased or poor judgment. Here's what you can do. Keep a calm environment. Make eye contact and politely address the customer by sir or ma'am. Approach the individual slowly from the front and use a comforting tone of voice when introducing yourself. If appropriate, offer to help the person with a transaction. Offer to call a relative or close friend for assistance if that information is available.
One of the takeaways from that video to me is talking in a calm voice, addressing the person by name perhaps. Because I think sometimes, I think someone with Alzheimer's may not focus on you. So if you kind of cue them into you, then,
Right.
that's probably a simple little,
If there's a lot of stimulus,
Yeah.
a lot of noise and lights and things going on, it's hard for any of us to focus. So
Right.
those who have that challenge, if you can just kind of slow down and be one-on-one with them. The other thing is, it's really difficult to talk to somebody from above. So coming down to, we're sitting at eye level, but if I was talking above you, that might be a little difficult.
I was looking at that and I was drawing a parallel of something I just recently experienced. Now, for those who are listening and watching right now, just imagine now, and this is what I experienced recently, I was in 4 different countries and I did not necessarily know the language. All kinds of symbols and signs around me that I maybe didn't understand, and I'm trying to pay for something or buy something. Imagine for a second that's maybe what it might feel like, a little bit like someone with Alzheimer's. And I say somebody with Alzheimer's, because I've always learned you say somebody is still the person,
Right.
they happen to have this. They're not Alzheimer's,
Right.
or whatever.
You're not a broken hip.
Right.
You're Doc. You're not.
I'm Doc with a broken hip.
Exactly. You're
Right.
not high blood pressure.
Right.
For me, something that I try to do, because I have an aging father, is to talk to them and not necessarily to the caregiver. When you go to the doctor's office and the doctor talks to me and not to my father,
Yes.
when we're at the bank and they're talking to me, I'm like, it's his money, you know.
Exactly.
You know? So treat them respect and dignity, and
Right.
recognize that they still have the ability to make decisions and understand their circumstances.
My dad and I,
wonderful.
we shared 5 years after my mom passed away. Every Wednesday I would go up and he would call me his financial advisor because he didn't do the checks. But we had such great talks. And I'd say, Dad, this is all yours. You just tell me what you want me to do.
Right.
And we had lots of fun with that.
Right.
And we would go shopping. He'd say, well, what do you think? I said, what do you think? Because he would because Mom would always tell him what he thought. So he had to learn, but he didn't have Alzheimer's, but still the same idea
Right.
is working with someone that's older, that maybe cognitively they're not quite as strong as they should be.
And that's the thing, I think people concentrate on what their family member or their loved one can't do,
Right.
instead of what they still can do. My husband worked for a bank for 25 years. My mom was a financial director at our local county courthouse. So finances, they have that in common. My mom started to get Alzheimer's and she couldn't even balance a checkbook. So what we did was my husband would go and sit with my mom, and he would figure out the bills, and she would sit with him, and she would still sign the checks.
There you go.
You know, she's still able to do that. So concentrating more on what people are still able to do, as opposed to, oh, Mom can't do this anymore.
Exactly.
If that's a big thing.
You know, that's so strange. My dad's been gone for a couple of years now, but when you said that, that brought back the memory of we have our little assembly line. Dad would have all his bills. I would fill out all the checks, and I just send them down the line.
Yep.
He had to sign them, put them in
Right.
the envelope, and stamp them, and put the return sticker.
Exactly.
And that was, I said, I'm just filling in this part. Yeah.
Right, and that means the world to
Yeah.
them.
They're in
It,
control.
like Kate said, their dignity, respect for them, they still need that. And
Don't
Their lives have to
assume.
have purpose.
Absolutely.
You know.
Don't
Well,
ever
you know,
assume.
and I look at it this way. I want my kids to see how I dealt with the older generation, because
Right.
they better darn well do the same with
Yep.
me.
That's right.
Very true. Very true.
And also, you know, you made a really good point, Dana, or Christine, I can't remember which one of you. Well, as soon as you get the diagnosis of Alzheimer's, immediately you think, okay, time to ship out, you know,
Yeah.
moving
Right.
along. And that's certainly not the case. Or even when you get older, I mean, as soon as you hit like some number, like 90, it's like, no.
So many of them can live very, very well with just a little bit of support.
Absolutely, absolutely.
know.
In dealing with people in the community, and I used to do a lot of home visits and with family, and Kate, as Chris as well, did this kind of work. But the thing that strikes me is that the family, well-intentioned, is so focused on the deficit that the older adult sitting there, many times I'll say, you haven't lived all these years for nothing.
That's right.
You're doing things
It's not
pretty
my
well.
first rodeo.
Exactly. So allowing them to have a sense of empowerment and control is super important.
Absolutely.
It's just absolutely imperative. So what we really like you to do is become a dementia friend. So we'd like you to go to that website, Dementia Friends USA, get a printout, I'm a dementia friend, like Doc did.
Yep.
We are the first county in New York State to have the most people. Right now, I think our last number that Marianne was telling us, we have 634 people that have completed that short training.
All right.
And 500 of them are from Chautauqua County, or 534. So we had a
Let's
meeting.
make it 1,000.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have an action team that meets every month. Anybody that's out there is welcome to contact us and join our dementia action team. We would love to see 1,000 people in Chautauqua County complete this training.
No reason why we can't. It's good training. It's easy to do. And
Absolutely, absolutely. And come join us. Go to the website, join our team, donate to our team.
right.
These are the two things we really are excited about, we wanted to talk to you about. It affects everybody, no matter who you are. And I did want to just leave, I popped this open, is the 24-hour hotline. Whenever I'm working with caregivers, and I know you all do as well, we leave this Alzheimer's Association 24-hour helpline, and sometimes I'll just program it into the caregiver's phone. And it is 1-800-272-3900. That helpline is run 24 hours by the Alzheimer's Association. It is answered by social workers trained in the association. And it's for people with dementia, it's for caregivers, it's for professional help. You know, anybody, if you just had a moment where you need to get it out
Right.
in a safe environment, that's the number to call
Awesome.
for that.
Folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and we're talking about Alzheimer's. And we got about 4.5 minutes left. And so, what do you want? Where do we want to go? You got pictures? We still have another video. What do you want to do?
We did 2 videos, so I think
Yeah.
we're okay with that.
All right.
We'd love to put a little plug in, and I don't know if the fellows back there can put up the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging statewide PDF we talked about. On September 4th and September 5th, we are having Stopping Senior Fraud and Abuse Starts With You. It's a learning session where we're going to have speakers come in and talk about how to stop fraud and abuse. And then right on the heel of that, the Office for the Aging is going to have their public hearing. And not only is the fraud and abuse important information for our older adults, but we also really want older adults to be able to give us feedback and information into formulating our next 4 years of services.
I am going to strangle my grandson, who calls me from West Virginia, who's been stopped by the police. If he calls me one more time,
There you
that
go.
needs bail money,
Right.
who has a downstate accent and a slightly Hispanic accent as well, and he says, "Grandpa." Folks, these are scams out there, so
Yeah.
this is well worth the effort. So when is this again?
This is September 4th at the Pendergrass Library in Jamestown.
All right.
And I want to say that's 10 a.m. I should look down at mine.
10 a.m.
September 5th at the Dunkirk Senior Center over with Kate at 45 Cliff Star, and that's at 1 p.m. So we'll have the presentation, which is super valuable. And then right after that, we're going to have the Office for the Aging public hearing, where older adults have an opportunity to give us information and feedback into what they'd like to see us doing in the next several years.
Oh.
So super important for us to
Internet
understand
fraud,
that.
telephone fraud,
Medicare
mail
fraud.
fraud, telephone fraud. It's terrible. Okay, what do we got? What's this one?
This one is at the Dunkirk Senior Center as well. This one is our fall prevention event, and in combination with our office and Brooks Hospital Physical Therapy Department, we're happy to have this event to help seniors and older adults and younger adults, if you're interested, learn how to not fall and not get hurt with falls. So there's all kinds of information around there. I understand they're also offering flu shots that are available to older adults over 65. So bring your insurance information if you'd like to get your flu shot and learn more about how you can improve your strength and your balance to help prevent falls. This is a big fall event, and obviously we use autumn/fall as the icon to fall prevention. So
And that's not mine. I had nothing to do with that. That's something I would have said. Okay, we're down to a couple minutes. I want to go back to Kate, who's going to tell us once again about the walk and all the information.
Okay, Alzheimer's Memory Walk. Walk Chautauqua is going to be on September 21st, and registration's at 9 o'clock. The walk starts at 10 o'clock. Beautiful day. Come on down and join us. And if you can't come, I'll walk for you. So send the money, and I have my sneakers on, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, and I'm going to repeat this. To donate, go to alz.org/Western New York and go look for the OFA, Office for the Aging, and click on that and make your donation.
Yep.
How's that?
Perfect.
All right, and Chautauqua Sunrise will officially go on record that we are going to sponsor you as well.
That's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
Christine, what do you want to talk about? We got 1 minute and 4 seconds left.
Just a quick plug for open enrollment, because this is a caregiver issue as well for people that are helping take care of their loved ones. Open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th.
Open enrollment for what?
Medicare open
Oh,
enrollment.
that good stuff.
Yes, this is the time where everybody.
Randy, where are you? We
Yes.
were just talking to
We're
Randy.
just talking about that.
So make an appointment with the Office for Aging today, calling our New York Connects line if you want one of our certified health insurance counselors to review your insurance for you or your loved one. It's a free service, and it's very important to review that every year.
Get it done. Dana, 26 seconds.
26 seconds.
Last time.
Hello, Chautauqua County. Please become a dementia friend. It is so important. I'm a numbers person. Usually, I focus on that. So I really want to see 1,000 people in Chautauqua County get this certificate. Challenge. Let's
Okay.
go.
Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. I'm a dementia friend. If I can do it, you can do it. It's easy. Take the time. Go out on there. What's the website?
DementiaFriendsUSA.org. I want to say, but let me check.
It is.
It's okay. So, anyways, check it out. Be a friend,
Yes.
and be kind to people that you suspect with dementia or Alzheimer's, and make this place a better county to live in. I'm Doc Hamels. Thanks, ladies, for joining me today. We're going to do this all again next Saturday morning, right here on XS Chautauqua Channel 1301 and on WRMA 107.9 Low Power to the People. I'm Doc Hamels. We'll see you next time. Take care and have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye now.